My sister Brianna is carrying both our twins.
Honestly, I've been raising a child for, 13 years
Well, if
now.
this is what you did, then I'm scared because I'm a brat. Hello, Brianna. Brianna being the carrier was the most important thing to us. I knew that I could trust her. Some people thought, this is sick, you guys are freaks, white trash from Arkansas. What you're doing is wrong to the core.
And they're all adults making these comments. Shocking.
I'm pretty sure that's a doomsday prophecy that is being fulfilled. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely weird and crazy news out there right now that is developing as, of course, the Biden administration is still trying to pull off a victory in this presidential election, as, of course, immigration and crime keep being a major issue of focus that they keep failing on. All of this as we are now finally seeing that there are actual consequences for actions, especially when it comes to Sam Bankman-Fried and Sean P Diddy Combs, that is really in some hot water, as of course there's a lot of federal agents surrounding that particular story. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media network. Atlas, can you please go to the other side? Thank you so much. As of course, if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is, I don't know where from. I don't think I even want to know where it's from, but probably some horrible TLC celebritard loving promoted show that is pushing these kind of ideas of a brother and sister having a baby together. Yeah, this is the state of our modern cultural decay, and it's only going to get a lot worse from here. This, as the mayor of New York City announced, more waste of your tax dollars and time now as he is implementing new, quote, electromagnetic TSA-style airport security to New York City subway systems, which, of course, will be done in an absolutely wasteful way. I know where the technology is, especially when it comes to these scanners. I see them implemented at certain events, and they need people that man them. You have to walk in one by one. New York City during rush hour will not be able to facilitate this larger privacy invasion into people's personal lives in an effective way, as they keep trying to look like they're tough on crime when in reality they're the ones excusing it, allowing it, and codifying it, as we keep hearing stories and stories of particularly white women being targeted in downtown New York City and literally being physically assaulted with no one helping them or doing anything about it. This as the Democrats overwhelmingly get a lot of support from single white women who usually are their biggest victims of their policies. This as the Biden administration also talks a tough game and then screws you over and doesn't do what they promised to do, as Biden was planning to announce executive action on the border, and he hasn't done anything, as Politico is reporting how he has gone silent on the issue and no longer is addressing it. But don't worry, Barack Obama and Bill Clinton are stepping in and helping him fundraise and campaign for the presidency. As, of course, these establishment men, tied with some really absolutely awful, horrible people, are rolling out all the stops for a Biden 2024 political victory, and I think they're going to be successful. Even though they're codifying a lot of really horrible, reckless policies, including the weaponization of human trafficking, the opening up of our border, and the liquidation of all of our resources for future Democratic voters, as illegal immigrants who come into the United States literally are mocking U.S. taxpayers, flaunting their money in videos while telling fellow, quote, asylum seekers to steal homes from fellow citizens in the United States because of squatting rights. As, of course, one of the most egregious individuals behind this story is a Leonel Moreno, a 27-year-old Venezuelan TikToker that, according to the latest developments, was actually nabbed by ICE and immigration agents for crossing into the United States illegally, as he literally went on social media, bragged about it, and was telling other people how to do it as well. As, of course, the man has gone viral many times, but for all the wrong reasons. This as there's some also significant questions about American infrastructure, as somehow the president of Mexico linked the recent Baltimore bridge collapse to illegal immigrants that should be, quote, treated better. Yes, you heard that correctly. The president of Mexico somehow decided to link the Baltimore bridge collapse, a freak accident, or maybe cyber attack, who knows what's really going on here, to migrants by saying, quote, this shows that they do not deserve to be treated as they are. What? How are the two correlated? They're not. The issue was, of course, conflated. This says today we're also finding out how the daily cargo ship that actually rammed into the Baltimore bridge, quote, suffered severe electrical problems while being docked in Baltimore, and then allegedly suffered total power failure, a loss of engine power that led to its crash into the bridge that, of course, collapsed it. This has another individual saying some off-the-wall stuff today is, of course, online commentator and supposed comedian Jon Stewart, who now is being accused of bumping up his New York City penthouse value by 829% after ranting about how Trump was, quote, overvaluing his properties, telling his viewers on his television show that tax avoidance is, quote, not a victimless crime. And I absolutely, incredibly disagree with him, as, of course, tax avoidance is a victimless crime, as the state is committing an act of theft in the first place. Kind of funny that the Democrats usually cheerlead virtue signal on issues that they're usually absolutely horrible on. This, as Jon Stewart was also pictured giving a medal to a very curious individual that has ties and still supports the Germans from the 1930s. As Jon Stewart took to Twitter and said, OMG, I've been caught doing something not remotely similar to Trump. Quote, I guess all I need to do now is start a fraud college, steal classified documents, bankrupt casinos, pay hush monies, grab you-know-what, discriminate housing, cheat at golf, and foment insurrection, and you'll reverve me. Again, this is a ridiculous, hyperbolic assessment on the situation. As, of course, it shows a lot that the first issue that Jon Stewart has is that the former president of the United States had some kind of college or educational resources. That's one of the main issues that you're highlighting his misdoings. There's a lot of things that Donald Trump did wrong. Don't get me wrong, but really, this is all the kind of superficial, baseless, victimless, highly promoted PR marketing media scandals that have been blown out of proportion, which in my opinion just shows you the ridiculousness of Jon Stewart and how he is absolutely not a serious person. As, of course, we do criticize the former president of the United States and probably will be doing so from a reasonable point of view later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, where we will have a special report available for members right after this one. As, of course, we have a lot of really interesting things to talk about regarding your health. As members of LukeUnfiltered.com will also be getting the ability to join us on a nature hike here in South Florida in about 2 to 3 weeks from now. Yes, you heard that correctly. We are organizing a touching of the grass moment, a nature hike here in Southern Florida that you could be a part of just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. Click the button right here, put in your information, and you get a new broadcast video almost every single day, and also the ability to call in to our live show. As, of course, yesterday we had an awesome conversation with Troy Casey, the health nut, that a member was actually able to call in and speak to the entire audience to. You could be that person right now just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. And by doing so, you get so many incredible offers of value, but more importantly, you get to support this independent media organization. We need your support more than ever, and truly, I can't thank you guys enough for all of your support and help. We need it now. If you thought about signing up, if you're on the fence, this is the time. We really need your help. We really need your support, and it's just $8 a month for the lowest tier that we have available to you that you could right now sign up on LukeUnfiltered.com. And we greatly appreciate all of your support. As, of course, like everyone, we're dealing with a difficult financial situation. Another individual dealing with a very difficult situation is, of course, Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX founder who was just sentenced to 25 years in prison for the massive fraud and conspiracy that, of course, destroyed the larger cryptocurrency exchange and a related hedge fund that was in his name. The sentence was just handed down in a Manhattan federal court and actually was significantly less than federal prosecutors wanted it to be, as they were looking for 40 to 50 plus years in prison for Sam Bankman-Fried, as SBF in the courtroom said that he made selfish decisions for himself that haunt him every day. This, as still many politicians that took his money haven't given it back, oddly enough, which is kind of strange here, since SBF kind of represented a larger kind of financer of the Democratic Party regime, as he handed out money not just to Democrats, but also to a lot of Republicans. And when his story had enough public outrage, especially since, of course, he was caught, stealing a lot of the money, since, of course, he was also working with the Ukrainian National Bank, since, of course, a lot of the money was kind of being funneled in and out of some really weird, sketchy places, since, of course, a lot of people were kind of connecting the dots between potential intelligence agencies using the service for their own personal benefit, as now clearly SBF has been found on the wrong side of the law and actually is facing some legal repercussions for it, as a lot of people expected him to go scot-free, and he didn't. Now, a lot of people lost their money with SBF. A lot of regular people, a lot of small-time investors, some middle-of-the-level kind of investors, but politicians, for some reason, aren't recouping their costs by giving back that money, something that I think should be a bigger issue here at hand, as a lot of the money that was defrauded, that was stolen from everyday human beings, ended up in politicians' hands, politicians who refused to give it back. This has another person facing the legal repercussions for his actions is, of course, Sean P. Diddy Combs, as Newsweek writes that there are a lot of celebrities coming out, speaking out against this alleged undercover brother who could potentially also be tied into the feds and other intelligence agencies that he could have been working with, cooperating with, as there's a lot of very similar stories to what Diddy did to what another individual named Mr. Jeffrey Epstein also did to a lot of very powerful people that he hung out with as well. This, as Newsweek reports, that the prosecutor who secured the trafficking conviction of R. Kelly is weighing in on this particular situation, saying that Sean P. Diddy Combs should be, quote, very concerned after the raids that took place at his home. This, as we keep learning about more crazy and salacious details about this entire matter, including the latest allegations that even 50 Cent's baby mama was used as a personalized lady of the night for Mr. Sean P. Diddy Combs, who was paying her for, let's just say, adult services. This could be one of the reasons why 50 Cent is so adamantly angry at P. Diddy Combs and has been calling him out for many years now, as, of course, 50 Cent now also recently set his sights on Jay-Z, who a lot of people believe is also implicated here in some kind of larger conspiracy and probable extortion effort that involved some very serious adult behavior that could have potentially also involved children. As, of course, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence highlighting and pointing a lot of very creepy, deprived, and really weird behavior with Sean P. Diddy Combs and a lot of children, whether it was Usher, whether it was Justin Bieber, whether it was his newly adopted white daughter that he keeps referencing in one of his videos. There's a lot of really weird things that highlight his larger productivity towards surrounding himself with small children, taking them away from their parents, and then conducting sleepovers and parties with them, where we know there was a lot of particular substances at. As, of course, we are also heard yesterday that P. Diddy's, quote, drug mule was also apprehended and arrested. Today, we're finding out that self-defense tools were also found at Sean P. Diddy Combs' homes. And according to some sources, P. Diddy is already speaking to the feds and trying to cooperate and make some kind of larger plea deal here. Now, is that the actual thing that's happening here? I don't know. These are just some reports that are initially coming in, as we still know very little about what the feds have found, what the feds have been doing here, and their potential, maybe even involvement here, as a lot of people are circulating a very interesting video of a Miss Desiree Perez, a woman who Donald Trump actually pardoned and was the CEO of, quote, Rock Nation, an organization connected to P. Diddy and Jay-Z that were involved with a federal known undercover agent. We have seen this video being shared around right now highlighting the larger potential involvement of the feds in this entire matter.
All right. Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we've passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. But this time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him. The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Rock Nation. But in her former life, she was a federal informant. In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for bringing in 35 keys of Griselda Blanco into Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to wear a wire for the DEA. Quick side note, Desiree Perez is a name Dame Dash refused to say in this Breakfast Club interview.
Once your has certain friends, we don't even talk about them no more where I'm from.
Now, around that same time, Jay-Z and Perez spearheaded Rock Nation's prison reform initiative with Meek Mill. I guess their hard work paid off, because on the 19th of January 2021, this list was released. Desiree Perez's criminal past had just been wiped clean by the outgoing president, Donald Trump.
Highlighting more circumstantial evidence that a lot of people are extrapolating and coming to a lot of different weird conclusions on. But I think it's fair to say that whenever we have billionaires, whenever we have people that are major cultural icons, that we have federal involvement, usually with those individuals. As, of course, the CIA is documented, of course, infiltrating, working with, and also paying a lot of major celebrities to be their agents. As, of course, the agency describes many times how a lot of these celebrities are some of the best agents that provide the most amount of information to them and do the best kind of undercover work for them. Now, when it comes to extortion, when it comes to these weird parties, when it comes to situations that known associates of P. Diddy even described as some kind of larger understood and known event, it really makes you think that, there definitely is a lot that we still don't know about this particular case. As, of course, Ines, one of the individuals who was a part of Diddy's show, quote, Making the Band, had this to say recently on a podcast episode.
He always respected me as a lyricist and as a writer. And that's what kept me up there from 2002 to 2009.
Well, did you at least see any parties or been to his parties? The infamous Diddy parties that everybody talks about?
I've been to the parties, but like I said, I don't know. They select you. You're selected.
Be more descriptive.
I'm gonna be more selective. You have to fit a certain description. You have to fit a certain mannerism for you to be led down that hallway with the door.
Hold on.
Don't do that. I'm giving it to you real. You have to fit a certain description, a certain mannerism, a body type, of type of mannerism, of type of mentality for you to get led down that hallway with the door.
This, as of course the conversation continues for a few more minutes, and Ines describes a situation where, of course, he was kind of tested. He was, of course, introduced to a lot of different individuals that were kind of trying to find out more information about him. And essentially, the larger kind of PR and enforcement effort of P. Diddy and the special interest groups that he represented that were very powerful individuals that previously had the ability to stop any kind of criticism of them, that previously had the ability to squander any kind of rumors about them. As, of course, now in this new digital day and age, especially when it comes to people finding out what's really going on, especially when it comes to the meme warfare, that situation isn't really as probable as it was just a few years ago. Now, what do you think was really going on here behind those private closed doors down that hallway? Well, let your imagination get the best of you and let me know down in the comment section down below. As, of course, let's get hypothetical here. What do you think was going on here? Let's start that conversation down below. I got one more video coming your way on lukeunfiltered.com talking about some important health stuff. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.